Support for Pawnee Community Radio comes from listeners like you and from the new film, The Shadows of Seven Heads, the dramatic tale of an Israeli soldier who falls in love with conjoined Palestinian sextuplets, out soon from Focus Features.
Welcome to Thought for Your Thoughts. I'm your host, Derry Merbles, sitting in for Nina Joplin, who is touring the country performing a spoken word opera about pear-shaped women. My guest today is City Council woman Leslie Knope.
It is a pleasure to be back, Derry. Your show last week on dolphin lactation was just riveting radio. Derry, my team and I are trying to build a park. And we need input on the design from you, the citizens of Pawnee. So I guess I'm here to send out the bat signal.
A bat signal, for listeners who might not know, refers to the children's character, the Bat Man, a strong gentleman who fights crime nocturnally.
That's correct. Well put. This park is going to be a celebration of Pawnee, by Pawnee, and for Pawnee. So, send in your plan or your resume, and quick. Please, hurry. This is all going to fall apart if you don't hurry.
Coming up after the break, movie reviews with Ken Tucker, who is filling in for David Bianculli, who is in New York filling in for Ken Tucker. Leslie, would you like to introduce the next segment?
Okay. Now it's time for Jazz plus Jazz equals Jazz. Today we have a recording of Benny Goodman, played over a separate recording of Miles Davis.
Research shows that our listeners love jazz.
Support for Pawnee Community Radio comes from the Wendell G. and Muriel Fathright-Korbelman Foundation and Sweetums Cares, a nonprofit group that puts umbrella hats on homeless people when it rains.
Welcome to Thoughts for Your Thoughts. I'm Derry Merbles, filling in for David Parker, who took off for 8 months to study the migration patterns of our nation's squirrels. We have not seen him since. My guest today is author Leslie Knope. The book, Pawnee, the Greatest Town in America.
I wrote a book, The First Historical Guide to Pawnee. I wrote it as a reference for myself, but then my campaign advisor said we should make it a big, wide release. So we had people contribute, and we added pictures, and we removed a lot of my poems and emotional ramblings and pictures of unicorns, and here it is.
Leslie, could one say that a book is nothing more than a painting of words, which are the notes on the tapestry of the greatest film ever sculpted?
One could say that. But should one?
Join us next week when David Bianculli will be filling in for Richard Chang Jefferson, who will be filling in for me. Leslie, would you like to take us out?
Okay. Please enjoy a song from the lesbian Afro-Norwegian funk duo Nefertiti's Fjord. Oh, wow. They are terrible.
Oh, yes, they're quite awful. But they are lesbians, so...
Additional support for Pawnee Public Radio comes from the Edgar C. and Janice R. Lumway Foundation and the Richard and Lois Wallenberg Foundation, dedicated to the idea that all human beings deserve a chance to hear about foundations.
Welcome to Thought for Your Thoughts. I'm your Pawneean host, Derry Merbles.
And I'm your Eagletonian host, August Clementine.
Yes, if you have not heard our program in a while, Thought for Your Thoughts now has a co-host thanks to the Pawnee-Eagleton merger.
I believe that is the Eagleton-Pawnee merger, n'est-ce pas?
I'd like to apologize to our listeners for my co-host's sudden and violent outburst just now. Our guest is former City Councilwoman Leslie Knope. Leslie, Thought
for Your Thoughts. I said it.
Absorb the aggression, Derry. Absorb the aggression.
Well, I just want to say thank you so much for having me. It's a thrill to be here. As a listener, I think the merging of your two shows has really created such a big, quiet, arcane ball of fun.
It's been a couple of months since Pawnee and Eagleton officially merged. Things are going Okay, there's still a little animosity between the two towns. I haven't seen Pawneeans this mad since Frankie's discontinued their pizza stuffed crust pizza. It was a pizza whose crust was stuffed with little pizzas, and the crust of those little pizzas was made of chocolate.
Ms. Knope, I understand you're here today to try to convince us that this disastrous merger of our two towns was in any way a good idea.
Yes, there were some bumps and bruises, and a brief rash of arson, and a rather large-scale brawl at the dump. But overall, the state of the merger is very strong.
Scoff.
Did you just say the word scoff?
You must admit, Ms. Knope, that the merging of the towns has been fraught with antipathy. For example, I now have to share my studio with a fatuous twerp who shall remain nameless.
This twerp has a name, and it's August Ngutu Leibowitz Clementine.
Guys, hello?